Blade Master here from the Wolf Freeman's Total War channel, and I'm here with Maximus Decimus Meridius. We're going to co-cast a couple of games between Armenian King and Panda Warrior. What's up, man?
Indeed we are. I'm really looking forward to this, because in the Wars of the Ancients tournament, Armenian King beat Panda Warrior, but not without controversy, because, as we all know, pull-through was claimed. And I did not give the rematch to Panda Warrior because of the circumstance under which it happened. So this is Panda Warrior's chance to prove that he's the better man and player and general.
Yep.
And lover.
Of course. And we believe this is game 2, simply because it's a process too complicated to explain to you guys.
Yeah, the viewers are just straight up stupid.
Yes,
there's no point in even trying.
And we treat him that way. I mean, that's the best way we should treat our viewers.
Absolutely.
But suffice to say, we think this is game 2, and in this game, Panda Warrior had the first faction choice, so he decided to pick Galatia, and Armenian King decided to pick Parthia. The way this tournament works is each player, it's kind of like the Dignitas tournament, each player picks 5 factions before they start playing their matches, and then they have to select, and they ban one faction each from each other's pool, and then they just choose a faction from the remaining factions that they have. So Armenian King decided to bring Rome, Boyai, Tilis, Galatia, Parthia, super MLG, except for Parthia. I would say all of them are very, very safe picks. And Panda Warrior decided to go with Rome, Boyai, Tilis, Galatia, and Arverni.
Okay, so just the safest faction in the game by far.
Even safer.
Yeah.
So in this, of course, Armenian King has got Parthia, and Panda Warrior's got Galatia. We don't know who banned what, but without further ado, let's just go over the builds. Why don't you go over Panda's build first?
Yeah, sure. Panda is Galatia, as mentioned earlier. He has 2 Levy Freemen, and I think there will be some units hidden for Panda that you can't see in the forest here, or in the shrubbery. He has 6 Galatian legionaries, and this is something interesting you'll see a lot of players who like to play safe do. They won't change their build too much, like they will pick the safest, strongest build for the faction, and for Galatia that is going to be 6 Galatian legionaries every time. So even though you're up against Parthia, you will basically never see Panda Warrior mess about with the Galatian nobles or anything like that. Just straight up Galatian legionaries, 2 Levy Freemen, maybe a few more in the forest, 2 Galatian swords, which are a curious choice, but they kind of do make sense considering the javelins. But still, a bit of a curious choice, I think, because of their low armor and their low morale. 2 mercenary Syrian archers. I wonder why Panda Warrior didn't bring any Galatian spears, because they have cavalry counter tactics, but instead of the Galatian swords. 2 mercenary Syrian archers, great against elephants and horse skirmishers. Then we have 2 mercenary horse skirmishers, great against elephants. 1 mercenary Cappadocian cavalry. We can't actually see Panda Warrior's general now. He's probably down here in the forest somewhere. Because this is Armenian King that sent the replay, so we're seeing this from Armenian King's perspective now.
Yep.
That's why I can't see the entire build.
And yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of thoughts about that build, but we'll go over that once the game starts. But as for Armenian King's army, he's brought, it looks like 4 cataphracts, 4 Eastern cataphracts, and he's kept 2 noble blood cav in the center, 3 Eastern spearmen, unless he brought Persian hoplites, which would be retarded. No, he brought only 3.
Did you just call Diplomat retarded?
Oh shit! Yeah, he loves to bring that super overkill mercenary hoplites / Persian hoplites. And he's brought. Oh, don't tell me he's brought 6 Eastern slingers. He's brought 6 Eastern slingers. And 1 Indian war elephant, and 2 mercenary Sarmatian horse archers, and 1 noble horse archer. So it's a very, very similar build to the one he brought against BX Brachus. And shall we start the game in 3, 2, 1?
Yes, starting.
So I have a couple of things about Galatia's build. Why would he pick 6 Galatian legionaries and 2 Galatian swords? I mean, I know it makes perfect sense in the context of what you just said, because Panda Warrior loves to go super safe and he doesn't like to take risks. But this could just bite him in the ass, I feel, because 6 Galatian legionaries at the very best scenario is overkill, And worst case, they could just, they wouldn't do much and they'd just get slaughtered by cataphracts.
Well, if this was a flat map, I would be inclined to agree with you. But since this is Athenai, and since there is so much uneven terrain, there is shrubbery and forest all over the map, I think the Galatian legionaries are much more cost-effective against cavalry than the Galatian nobles. And the Galatian spears are even more of a risk than the Galatian legionaries, actually, because the Galatian legionaries have more armor, they have more health, and more morale. So on Athenai, I think it makes sense to just go for 6 Galatian legionaries. But, because Parthia could definitely go for a sword spam, since this is Athenai. But, or not a spam, but just 6 swords. But the thing I don't understand is the 6 Galatian swords, instead of Galatian spears, because Galatian spears are great.
6 Galatian swords?
Yeah.
God.
He has, at least, I can at least see 4 Galatian swords, and 1 Galatian noble, but I just don't see why these Galatian swords are even there compared to the Galatian spears. Well, they are cheaper, they can throw javelins, but their morale is just so crap, 40 base morale.
True.
So one charge and they're dead.
Kept in the rear of his army, they'd probably be able to do pretty well. But
as a second line, they can be very nice. But Panda needs to be careful with his horse skirmishers here, because he already lost 13 of them.
True. But they are getting some good shots on the Sarmatians also.
They are.
In the process.
But the Sarmatians are less important, I feel, for Armenian than the horse skirmishers are for Galatia, because they are the most direct counter to elephants. They can counter them anywhere on the field.
The best, easiest way to kill elephants and even cataphracts. Very, very effective
absolutely.
against cataphracts.
Great.
Like 41 missile damage, man. And 7 shots per minute is just... You can't really take that for granted at all.
And he has 3 of them, so I quite like that. 3 mercenary...
Yeah. I personally like to take 3 horse skirmishers when fighting up against like a cataphract, like Parthia or Armenia. I love to take them.
Absolutely.
Even when I play Parthia against Armenia, or Armenia versus Parthia, I love to take horse skirmishers. Very, very effective. Ooh, someone's joined the channel.
Hello, what's going on?
What up, man? Oh shit.
We're recording. We're recording a game between Panda and Armenian King in the Wolf of Remus. Week of the Wolf.
Week of the Wolf, yeah.
Okay.
Week of... Okay.
So it looks like we have sort of a standoff here now. Both players are sort of camping the red line, but this is what the map Athenai does, because there's basically only a small part of the map where engagements are going to be happening. And both players are going to move up, so as long as both players camp the red line, then I guess it's okay.
Like on the one hand, PandaWarrior would definitely want to take this forest in the middle, but on the other hand, if he advances too quickly, he'll get slaughtered by cataphracts, and he leaves his position very vulnerable. So
it's basically the sweet spot is where the small light area in the middle here is, where the downhill charges can't come from the cataphracts.
Exactly.
But if PandaWarrior keeps multiple lines of infantry, baits the charge, and then countercharges by being on top of this small elevation, I think the cataphracts are going to go down super quick.
Yep.
Because there aren't that many of them. There's only basically 4 cataphracts on the field, 4 eastern cataphracts.
Yep.
That is not a lot of cataphracts.
And it's very strange, to see Eastern Slingers. Bringing 6 Eastern Slingers is very, very weird. And this is what he brought against Baracus, the Armenian king. And I just don't rate them. I mean, if you're going to... Bringing Eastern Slingers is a good idea, but bringing 6 of them is crazy, especially when you have access to Parthian foot archers instead. Might as well just bring at least like 2 or 3 of them. But we can see Eastern cataphracts are getting shot by horse skirmishers. They're
just too slow. And this is the problem with the Eastern spears. Like, they're not able to support here and screen effectively. They can just basically move back with the units.
Exactly.
But the Eastern cataphracts are actually baiting javelins now to a significant degree. They're not. They've lost a single cataphract, and all of those volleys just missing.
And even if they hit, like, I mean, some of them would just hit in the trees or something.
Eastern slingers getting caught in the center. Cappadocians, they're going to turn around. Very nice move by Panda, but he got caught just in time. But this allows him to pull in the Levy Freeman. So this is damned if you do and damned if you don't for Armenian King. He's going to get fucked either way. It just matters how. It just depends on how he wants to get fucked, by Levy Freeman or by.
But he's going to support with.
And those Levy Freemen are going to go down super quick.
Smart decision. I think he's come.
But Armenian, I mean, he plays Parthia really weirdly. Like, now he fires into the engagement with the Eastern Cataphracts and the Levy Freeman, and that just makes no sense at all.
Yeah. He made a bunch of mistakes even when he played against Baracus. No disrespect to Armenian King, of course, he's a much better player than I am, but I mean, gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah, absolutely.
The legionaries over here, Panda Warrior, speaking of mistakes, no idea why he's left one of these legionaries up here. Very vulnerable at this point.
They are engaged against the Noble Bloods, but now they're going to get downhill charged by 2 cataphracts.
Yeah.
And let's just see these Galatian legionaries die. But he has these units in support, so if these cataphracts don't pull out in time, they could eat javelins.
True. They could very easily eat javelins. They're very, very close at this point.
And the Galatian legionaries, like, not a great charge by the cataphracts. Look at the Galatian legionaries, just dropping very slowly, and this is what their armor and health does in this type of terrain. And now they're eating javelins, so that might just have been a bait from Panda.
Could be, yeah. Here, wow, being super aggressive with his horse skirmishes, maybe a bit too aggressive.
Yeah, he just wants to make these Eastern Slingers route off the field, I think, but not going to work uphill. If that was downhill, it could have worked. But here, the Eastern Slingers of Armenian King are actually getting hit by javelins from Galatian legionaries.
Yep.
And I think this isn't Armenian's playstyle at all. I can absolutely still win. It's too early to call anything, but just the micro mistakes keep piling up for Armenian King.
On top of the map being completely like counterintuitive for a Parthian skirmish build. It's
but
very,
what
very
Panda Warrior does now is a bit curious, because he's going to end up below Armenian King here. Because he's moving downwards, and that is not good.
As long as Armenian King keeps pulling back. And at this point, I mean, the thing is, he's engaging his units piecemeal, but the elephants are coming in.
Elephants are coming in against the Galatian legionaries. The mercenary summation horse archers get caught by legionaries, but he's firing into his own elephants at this point.
Yep.
He needs to stop doing that. Yeah, he stops doing it.
Traditional Armenian, just Armenian King things.
Yeah.
But Noble Blood killing the Cappadocians. They've been chasing them off, I think. Because
these Galatian legionaries are dead, so that was a nice...
very, very good engagement there for Armenian King. Being very patient with his horse archers too. I mean, keeping them behind his lines. His noble horse archer general is not doing anything. Just chilling there, waiting for the right engagement.
And the Cappadocians of Panda are now off the field, but the Galatian legionaries are going to be able to throw javelins now again at the Eastern Cataphracts.
Ooh. Yeah, they took a lot of HP damage from that, and the Noble Blood Cab only 28 men left.
Yeah.
But so far, Armenian King is definitely winning at this point in terms of just the individual engagements that.
He's getting the better of the engagements, and he also has the superior position now. But Panda Warrior might just want to push up and take the central piece of forest here.
Exactly. If he can camp here effectively, then I would say that he's in a very good position.
But even if he camps here, then he's still going to be firing uphill with his Syrians, and that's going to make them far less effective.
Yep.
But at some point, Armenian King is going to have to engage, and if he engages in this forest, then, well, the elephants are going to have to do some serious killing for that to be even possible.
Which is going to be really, really tough.
Yeah, super hard.
So Eastern Cataphracts here, 58 units left. Horse skirmishers, not doing too much. Bringing the horse archers here to try and counter them, which is a good idea.
Yep.
But they might just get javelin to the face by those Galatian swords. Ooh, no, they're eating arrows from those Syrian archers.
Oh yeah, they are gone.
Downhill shots.
Yeah, so the horse archer micro is just not there for. He got charged by Galatian legionaries and
well, you can't really blame him
pieces.
too much. This is like a really tough build to pull, even in the best of circumstances, and this is far from the best of circumstances.
Yeah, and the map is just horrible for skirmishing with.
I mean, just to illustrate, like the red line is right here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He has no place to try.
But I quite like his position now, because he can kite for a long time, and Panda will be chasing him uphill. So now
Panda has lost all of his mobility. He's lost his Cappadocians.
But he has a decent position to skirmish out from, because Armenian King is not really using the forest. Panda Warrior is using the forest, but Armenian is not. But here comes a unit of Cappadocians.
One more.
Yeah,
really
he probably hit it in the forest. This would be classic Panda.
Fire, though. I just saw one attack order from all of the slingers and the cataphracts. Oh yeah, they're going to get some good shots here, I think.
Yeah.
Nope. No, he managed to pull them out quick enough.
Let's
Eastern
see here.
Spearmen here. What's going on here?
No idea.
Yeah, the levy free. One of the Eastern Spearmen have died. Not really a big deal. But the Noble Blood Cab have lost a ton of men. Not
Did
really
they
sure
charge
how.
the levy? I think
I believe they charged the Galatian swords because they're down to 81 men.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm not really sure. That's probably. I don't think that was a good idea. Maybe he was just forced into it while we were like explaining the main. This little bit of flank engagement was going on.
These slingers are now getting some decent shots into the legionaries, but the problem is that any type of tree counts as a forest in this game.
Yeah.
So basically, you're in the forest if you're just where the cursor says forest. That's a forest.
Dude, take a look at this. The Noble Horse Archer General. This is some good. This is a
Very
good engagement
nice.
by Armenian.
But uphill, so not going to be able to
But
catch
yeah,
them
horse
effectively.
skirmishers will get destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're going to catch the Eastern Slingers in the process.
Oh well, the rare charge from the mercenary, the rare charge from the Noble Horse Archers might just finish off the mercenary horse skirmishers. But they killed
rear charge
quite
with the-
a lot of Eastern Slingers for being as crappy. They have a charge bonus of 4, but they still did it. Oh, and the Noble Blood Cavalry gets hammered. The Eastern Cataphracts are going to get hammered as well.
Tough. Yeah, they aren't going to come out of this.
Yeah,
alive.
putting in the Cappadocians to finish the Cataphracts, or at least damage them severely. And this one Slinger unit up here is just all alone
Yeah.
on the hill.
This is what we were talking about. Like, you need to support these units.
Yeah,
at all
absolutely.
times.
So I like
you
keeping
shouldn't
the
just
Slingers
charge it.
there, but
Yeah, he should have kept one, but I guess he kept like a Cataphract there, and he's bringing some captive support now.
ooh,
He's actually
Cappadocians.
managing
The
to pull-
Cappadocians might just take out the Noble Horse Archer General of Panda now. But he's going for the Slinger of Armenian King. But he's going for the Slingers, and he's going to turn around and go for the Noble Horse
he
Archers.
charged in, and there's some
Downhill.
Syrians fighting here. This is bad for the Horse Archer General.
Oh yeah, this is bad for
This
Armenian
is
King.
really, really, really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go down. Yeah, 58
needs
Cappadocians left, and
He needs to YOLO charge this Cataphract to just tie down this Syrian archer at least.
it just died. 26 men left, 58 kills.
Wait, which one?
The Eastern Cataphracts that are coming in to support the fight with the general.
Right, yeah.
The Noble Horse Archers are actually winning this engagement for some reason.
Insane.
They are.
Suffice to say, they're not going to last very long.
No,
I mean, they're
they're
taking
not.
a lot of shots in the process.
And now they're pulling out, and that was a smart move by Armenian, getting the Eastern Cataphracts in so he could pull out the Noble Horse Archers.
Yeah.
But-
And the Cappadocians are taking a ton of casualties too.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they took from a very depleted Eastern Cataphract.
If the Cappadocians die, then I mean that's what I like by having the Slingers, is that the amount of ammunition
True.
is potentially going to allow you to do more damage in the late game because of the increased. Like in the early game, I think the Parthian Foot Archers are better for their ability to do a lot of damage quickly. But in the late game, the ammo of the Slingers and they have 6 or 7 armor penetration. I believe it's
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, something really good. Like,
Yeah, so-
I think it might even be 8. Not sure.
I think no, for elite slingers it's 8.
Yeah, for elite slingers, yeah.
and for these guys it's 6, I believe. So it's
Which itself is a very fair amount of.
yeah,
armor penetration.
it's decent, and that's the problem with the Parthian foot. They can run out of ammunition really quickly.
True.
But they are good, absolutely
But
good.
what do you think about this general tactic here by Panda? He's moving away from the forest, which is strange. He was just
He just wants to make sure that the Noble Horse Archer General, can't get back to his own
Yeah.
army because he's super slow, super heavy, super slow, and it looks like he's just going to block his ability to go back to his army, because then the morale of the slingers is going to be super shaky. The Indian war elephants themselves only have 40 morale, so
True.
if the general dies, that could be, well, that is very, very big. But it looks
General
like
recently died.
oh, there we go.
Yep.
So that's huge. The Cataphracts, of course, are going to be fine, but the rest of the units really aren't. Like, already in red morale, the Eastern
So
Slingers are
many.
shaken,
Yeah.
and even the Indian war elephants drop to orange. They're just steady. So
Yeah.
this is just not good for.
This is a poor engagement here by
Yeah.
Armenian King. Engaging piecemeal with Cataphracts is definitely a no-no.
uphill
And they're going to get
piecemeal.
supported. Yeah, they're going to get supported by noblemen.
Yeah, by Noble Horse. but yeah, like Parthia, and particularly this Parthia build on this map, it's just a disaster. Like
Yeah.
I did a feature on this very map where I just go over which builds work and which builds don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I specifically say Eastern builds, special units, skirmishers
Yeah.
suck on this map.
Too easy to get caught in the forest.
Yeah.
The hills and stuff just overcomplicate stuff for like units like.
Yeah, this is a rush map, straight up rush map. Not an MLG skirmish map. And look at the Eastern Slingers, they're just taking a few volleys and then they're dropped to shaken instantly.
And the Syrian archers are one of the few archers that can really tank out a fight
Yeah.
against slingers. With
They
all their
are
armor.
surprisingly good against all skirmishers in the game, basically. In terms of a straight-up skirmish fight, they are the most cost-effective skirmish units in the game. Which I didn't think that was the case for a long time. I thought slingers were better, but it appeared to just be a false assumption by me.
The armor on these guys just really plays a huge role.
And when the Cretans lost their 5 armor and their shields, these guys just stepped up to be the most cost-effective ones.
Over here, Indian war elephants. If Panda Warrior gets one javelin volley, which he obviously is going to, these Indian war elephants are dead, and they're already tired.
Shield wall, but the shield wall hit too late.
Too late, yep.
But he sort of blocks his own charge. He blocks the charge with his Eastern Cataphracts. So the Eastern Cataphracts are going to... and the Indian war elephants are getting ganged up on now. But not a whole lot of javelins incoming. There is some fire from the... oh, there they're running amok. Okay.
Yeah, they're running amok. But
no, they're dying as well.
We see, wow, they're dying so quickly. This is what we see from Armenian King when he plays with these Parthian builds. He just gangs up on one unit, and that's... I mean, while that might sound like a good idea on paper, it's just not good enough when you have such... like, when you have units that really depend on their charge being uninterrupted. So what he does, like we saw over here, is he interrupts his own charge, thereby shooting himself in the foot.
It would be charging himself in the foot. it would be really good if he went in one direction with the elephants and then went uphill and downhill with the cataphracts. But he just sends in everything in the same direction, and that is just not effective. That helped Panda Warrior immensely. He only lost 24 Galatian nobles from that elephant charge, and that is phenomenal.
It's going to be incredibly hard for Armenian King to pull this off now.
Yeah, no way.
Almost impossible.
No way.
Yeah.
He lost at the faction selection screen and at the map. Panda must have picked the map in this case, because like I said in the beginning, if Armenian King picked this map and this build, then he is retarded. But I really don't think he did that.
Yeah. Here, downhill charge from Cataphracts. Oh, what? They didn't have an attack order on the noblemen, so they just... their charge got completely broken down.
And I do commend Armenian King for trying unsafe and potentially interesting builds.
Yeah.
But against Panda Warrior, you want to be as safe as you possibly can.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't really have much of a choice. Because, wow, again, these Eastern Cataphracts didn't get a charge on those Galatian swords. Really weird. But what happened with Panda and I think Happy Souls in round 1 was Panda just did like amazing tactics in the faction selection screen. Like, he basically blocked. He made it so that the last match, only the last match has to be a mirror matchup. So in the second match of the best of 3, he basically made it so Happy Souls could not pick Boya even though he had access to Boya or something like that. Some really MLG shit which I don't have a clear memory of. But yeah, that could very possibly be the case in this game as well.
Yeah,
Basically
absolutely.
Forced Armenian to pick Parthia and lose on Athenai.
Yeah, and Galatia is such a strong pick against Parthia for many reasons. They don't have great spears. Their Galatian nobles are too expensive to be really great, but they're just such a solid all-round faction.
Very, very good faction for sure. That said, I mean, with the engagements that Armenian King took in his early gameplay, I would say in Nemetusena he probably would have won.
Possibly.
But again, his noble horse archer, he just didn't micro with his gen very well, I think.
Yeah. And I don't see Panda bringing this Galatia build on Nemetusena. This is a very Athenai specific build with all the swords.
Yeah, I mean, even though, like, true, like, this is a good build for the map, but still, I would have brought some more spears.
Yeah, Galatian spears are great.
Yeah.
And he had four Galatian swords, so Galatian spears instead. But then it becomes a matter of these Galatian swords are cheaper. So if he wants to just have more units with javelin capabilities, then the Galatian swords are okay. But the cavalry counter tactics are just so nice for the spears.
Hard to argue with the results though. Galatian swords doing actually much better than the Galatian legionaries themselves. Triple shambles,
but all of these,
shambles.
We have what's left on the field for Panda. We have the general, and then we have 5 Galatian legionaries, and basically 2 whole units of Galatian swords. So just so much left on the field.
This is why I say, like, mixing 2 or 3 Parthian foot archers with the 3 Eastern slingers is the perfect combo because on the one hand you have a viable long, like late game capability with your 3 Eastern slingers. But if you want to inflict a ton of casualties, like in one of those few engagements where it really needs to happen, like suppose you had the Galatian nobleman like in a precarious position, having 3 Parthian foot archers, having the access to use precision shot with their 40 missile damage, and that just is a game changer in and of itself.
Yeah, that would be very useful, especially if he was being patient and he was waiting for the. If he waited for the cooldown so that he could use precision shot each time he fired off a few volleys, 47 missile damage each time, that would be immense, especially against the Galatian swords, and because this Galatia build is in terms of its skirmishing defense, it's a bit squishy.
True, 75 armor itself. I mean, it's a decent bit of armor for the legionaries, but not unstoppable for sure.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
against Parthian skirmishers.
Yeah, and I believe their missile block chance is only 40% on those shields. Not 100% sure, but I believe it's only 40. Same as the Oathsorn and the other chosen types of.
And as
swords.
we all know, those units are super squishy when it comes to blocking missiles.
Oh yeah. The time I played you when you were Parthia and you kept focus firing in my general and he just disintegrated.
Yeah.
I had played Swebi a lot, and Swordmasters have a 55 or 60% chance to block incoming missiles, so they just don't die to missiles. But those 20% makes such a huge difference.
True.
It's so much damage potentially just ignored. But this was this was an interesting game.
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting when you see a Parthian skirmish build, but it's very hard to pull it off, suffice to say.
Yeah, I think if he was going to do it on this map, then Parthian rush build would have been far superior to Parthian skirmish build.
Yeah, definitely. So shall we end the recording there?
Let's.
All right. See you guys for game 2 and potentially game 3.
Strength and honor.
Peace.